The PlayStation Showcase, Meta's Gaming Showcase, Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference. Between May 24th and June 5th, so many changes are happening in VR that the industry will never be the same again. You wanted something big in VR, right? Well, let's go. For the past 2 weeks, no, actually for the past 2 years, there have been so many rumors about whatever Apple's headset is going to be that you should probably toss whatever's in your head right out the window. Is it $3,000? Is it an iPad Pro for your face? Is it going to be Magic VR for the casual consumer? Basically, is Apple going to stomp the competition? June 5th at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference is going to be bananas. We haven't seen anything like this since Facebook bought Oculus. Well, maybe the launch of the Oculus Quest 2. That was huge, but not like this. This week, Sony announced that on May 24th, they're streaming a special event focused on just PSVR 2. Consider this the real launch of the hardware. Before, you could only buy the PSVR 2 online, and that was directly from Sony. But as of May 12th, it's available in retail stores everywhere. And just today, I was in Costco and saw something I haven't seen in like 2 years. There was a stack of PlayStation 5 units ready to go. It has been impossible to get a PS5, but now shipments are ready. The PSVR 2 is ready, and smart money is on Sony showing some real AAA VR games next week. I'm expecting a hell of a show. So where does that leave Meta? Leaks have popped up all over the official Quest store showing in the game descriptions something that says Quest 3. Now Meta just announced their game show for June 1st where we can expect to see some big titles for the Quest 2 and beyond. What's crazy is that so many games are dropping the day of the conference, and they're announced outside of the main show. If Meta is dropping these, I can only imagine what's in the show. Surprises like Budget Cuts Ultimate, which came out of nowhere, that bomb was just dropped last week. That and the platformer No More Rainbows, both of those are available to buy on June 1st. And Dead Hook, which just got pushed back from its late May release to late June, even though the publisher said that the game is complete. They mentioned something about changes in Meta's schedule, but I have a theory about that. Hold on. Whatever is going to be announced at this show is going to be big. My guess is that Dead Hook moved its date to be closer to the hardware launch of the Quest 3. You're going to want to play games on your new hardware, and Dead Hook isn't trying to get lost in the massive software storm that's coming. I don't think Meta is just going to reveal the system on June 1st. I think they're launching the system with a date and an exciting new library of titles to compete against Apple and Sony. I'm calling it right now. Late June, early July. The price, I don't know what, $399, $499 for a system without the new controllers maybe? And maybe you pay more for the new controllers and maybe more storage space? I mean, I guess we won't know until June 1st. I'm going to be at AWE, or the Augmented World Expo, that week in Santa Clara, California. Now that's after the Sony conference and during the Meta conference and just before Apple's big reveal. I don't know how much work is getting done that week because I think it's going to be a big party, but I'll keep you posted. What do you want to see from Sony and Meta and Apple's reveal? And yeah, I don't just mean hardware, but what kinds of games and experience do you want to see? To be honest, I'm getting kind of excited about mixed reality. Matt over at BMF VR got me a little hype this week after teasing with a tweet about some of the MR experiences he can't talk about coming to the Quest. I'm starting to see the appeal of these mixed reality experiences. For example, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is Nintendo's attempt at mixed reality, and I think it looks amazing. So if we can expect things like that coming out on Quest 3, things are starting to look very interesting.
Yeah, let's just go into this avatars research. So as everyone's aware, Meta's avatars today do not have legs. In fact,
I want to piggyback on Upload VR's conversation this week. If you haven't listened to it, go check out the VR download. But one of the topics was about Meta's avatars. And no, it's not about just legs, but about the appeal or lack of appeal about Meta's current avatar system. Now, I don't want to misquote them, so here's a snippet.
Can we just see nails and toenails? And that comment made me look at my hands and realize that I don't have fingernails, right? I know objectively I don't have fingernails. Like, I know that they're there, but I forget, right? I allow myself into this illusion. And that's what we're talking about across the board from, I'm moving my elbow right now to an extraordinary degree, but it's not matching. You're not seeing those elbow movements matched regularly. A lot of these things can just be put down into the subconscious, and we're just comfortable with it. And you, as our viewers, have learned to accept some of these, these avatars on those terms. But when you stop and think about some of these things, and like, ooh, you want out, right? When you start noticing the mismatches.
I'm starting to wonder, do people really care about this? There's a rumor that Apple is putting a lot of energy into their avatar customer representation thing, and they're supposed to be playing with FaceTime and making avatars that look super realistic. But I'm just not sold that any of this stuff actually matters. I'm not saying that I don't want amazing looking VR representations in the future, but I'm not sure that the avatars or legs are what's keeping new people out of VR. I don't think they're much of a distraction. In fact, I think the meta avatars are pretty great. They're well animated, the sound is crisp and clear, and when you're talking, the immersion works enough that I feel like I'm in a physical space with another person. That's presence, right? That's the point. I love Big Screen's new avatars, and I appreciate what they're doing in games like Rec Room, but I think what Meta currently uses is the best of the bunch. I'm never distracted by them. I'm always engrossed in conversations. The way they've been integrated into games like Drop Dead the Cabin, it works, but the visual mismatch is definitely kind of weird. Now, Denny Unger over at Cloudhead Games, I love quoting Denny, he said in a tweet that maybe Meta should consider a more adaptive art style if this kind of implementation is going to work for developers in the future. But maybe Apple and Meta are putting too many resources in the wrong area. Does anybody really care about fancier avatars? Will that matter in the upcoming hardware? I'd rather Meta spent more time working on improving core functionality and addressing basic features quicker. The internal pipeline over there is crazy.
But it is surprising how many people don't want to listen to their users and don't want to look down right at their feet on the value space where, we had this all the Oculus voice stuff where it would just kill me that I would go in and personally sort of triage the top 100 out of all of this and say, it's like, why aren't we doing all of these? Look, this one's easy. Yeah, this one would be really hard. I understand why we're not doing that. But here and here, it's like, just go fix those right now.
I hear you, John Carmack. I hear you. In case you missed it, here's what dropped for the Quest 2 this week. Sky Strikers looks like another VR take on Rocket League, this time with verticality and platforming. Expansion definitely caught my eye. It looks like a real-time strategy game. There really aren't enough of those on Quest. Med Valley, one of the few paid apps on this list, is a straight-up sim where you're the doctor. You're doing checkups, reading charts, checking vitals. It's $9.99. Court Time Tennis is a single-player tennis trainer. X8. This is a hero shooter from Third Verse, who brought us Swords of Gargantua and Altair Breaker. I like their anime style, but so far the execution of their games has always been just a little off. If you're into multiplayer hero shooters, maybe X8's for you. Labyrinthos. It's a narrative-driven, infinite, non-Euclidean maze game. So think a story-based game mixed with T for God. Oh, and speaking of T for God comes to the official Quest store with a July 19th release date. And finally, Home Detective makes the list as a clever mixed reality detective game that I'm really looking forward to try this weekend. So that's it. That's the Runback. Let me know what you'd like to see more of in the comments. Should I keep this list going? Should I stick with news? This is all in flux, so just let me know. Stay safe out there. Get those wallets ready. And if you see me online, give me a shout out. Say what's up. Show out. Peace.